Hello, this is Wolf from WOLFHEART featuring the MALAVITA Antisocial Club, and you're watching Stormbringer, the Austrian Heavy Sin.
Now it's about you used to call it a solo project, but it's not the solo project anymore. It's called WOLFHEART and the MALAVITA Antisocial Club. Is this right? Yeah. And it started as a project, and now it's way more than a project. How did this come apart?
Yeah, well, basically it was inspired by a very old dream of myself that I wanted to record a solo album. But since my abilities as a composer are limited to programming on the keyboards, I had to use other people, and so I asked a lot of people if they would be open to write songs for me. In the end, it ended up with Jaro writing most of the songs, all of the songs except for one. And I asked Alessandro, because I used to work with him on the Darkside album. He used to play with Demolition with me, so I knew him for a very long time, and I knew he was the right guy to do this. And the only song which is not written by Jaro is one song which was written by a good friend of mine, Thomas Schmoll, from Wiener Neustadt.
DJ Schmolli, for everybody who doesn't know him.
And so the idea was to record a solo album, but working together really closely over the internet, of course, but hearing each other from day to day, it started to get something like an own life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so when we finished the album, it was a band. So from the start of the creation until the ending of the recordings and the ending of the mixing and mastering, this became a band, and we are working on the second album already, so I'm confident this will go on.
Now the album is very long. It's about 100 minutes. I think it's 2 CDs.
Yes, 2 CDs.
And was it intended to be a 100-minute concept album?
Well, there was never the idea to do exactly 100 minutes, but all of the songs which you can hear on the album were in my mind from the start. It's, for me, when I do an album, it doesn't matter with whom, I always have the whole concept already in my mind. Most of the time it's already written down, which doesn't work for the lyrics, because when I do lyrics, I do them in the studio. I never do any lyrics before going to the studio. I go to the studio, listen to the songs a couple of times, and deciding the hook lines, and then I'm writing the lyrics on the fly. Yeah. So because I like to leave this space for instant creativity. I call it instant creativity. And I'm it's very comfortable for me to work in this way. I couldn't imagine to write lyrics before going to the studio and have ready lyrics, because this does not work at all for me.
But nonetheless, the lyrics are a very important theme in the band, because it's about, what are they about?
Well, a big part of the lyrics on the WOLFHEART album are about mind control, conspiracy theories, stuff I constantly read about in books, and which I'm very interested in. Well, I don't care, for instance, for chemtrails or stuff like that.
So you don't believe in conspiracy theories?
Well, it depends, because there is a lot of topics which are labeled as conspiracy theories, but they are not theories, they are the reality. And I always like to oppose the mainstream a bit, as well as in the music, as well as in the lyrics. So, and right now I have the possibility to produce and create the albums I would have always liked to buy, but nobody put them out. So this is my approach to the whole thing.
I hope other people will buy the albums as well, not only yourself.
I hope that too. Yeah.
So you wrote a really big piece of music on the album. It's about 27 minutes long. It's about your descendants from Italy. You are half Italian.
From Naples, to be exact.
Yeah. So you wrote a concept song about Naples.
It is this song, or these songs, because it's actually 5 songs and 2 instrumental parts mixed together. They are about all my experiences and my emotional binding towards Naples and its inhabitants. Mm-hmm. Naples for me is the place where I feel home, to be honest. Mm. So I don't have the chance to go there very often, but whenever I come there, I feel home. That's the place where I love to be, and the whole area is fantastic. I can only recommend everybody to visit this town, regardless of what you listen in the media about mafia and stuff like that.
You shouldn't listen too much to the media, I guess.
Exactly. Which is also part of the topics on the album, criticism towards media, towards politicians, but without being political myself. But just
giving the people some hints.
Showing what I think is going totally wrong. And things everybody of us can instantly relate to. I think this is important. It's very important to make lyrics that people can relate to.
The experience in their own lives.
Because it's about topics everybody is concerned with.
Yeah, but do you think it's a problem that people are able to step back a bit and look at the thing as a whole? They just see little parts of it?
I think the problem is that the media are pushing as hard as they can, and it's difficult for people to find out what is the truth, what is not truth. It's difficult for people to decide what to follow and what to leave apart. And the overall 24/7 media aggression, I would call it, they show you how you should look like, they show you what you should buy, what to wear, what to believe. And I think for most of the people it's already a problem.
Most people do it.
To check out what's behind it. So I think I don't want to be the one to point the finger out and say you have to do this or you have to do that. I'd like just to give people hints where to start thinking or what about. So
thinking for themselves.
Yeah, think for themselves in the first place.
Yeah. Do you think there is a chance we see the MALAVITA Antisocial Club and WOLFHEART on a stage in the next few months or something?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be happening in the next few months because we are writing new songs at the moment. We have like 5 songs finished. The next album, I can tell it already, will be a double album also. We have projected 18 songs. And as I said,
a creative man.
I enjoy doing the albums which I would have liked to have bought in the past, but nobody put them out, so I put them out myself. This shouldn't sound too. What do you say? This shouldn't sound too like my head were in the clouds or something like that. But I just try to give pleasure to myself in the first place by creating this music.
I think there will be many people out there who like the albums and the one album, and I think you should give it a try, give it a listen. WOLFHEART and the MALAVITA Social Club.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
The variety of music is very big. On this album, there is a lot of different stuff. There is a lot of progressive stuff. There is a lot of harsh, aggressive stuff.
There's Italian folk music
on it. There is Italian folk music on that. So I think everybody could find something for his pleasure on that one.
Okay, so recently you founded your own record label. Was it necessary for you to have your own control about the things?
I started the record label, to be exact, for the last Darkside album, because I tried to sell it to a label for half a year, and the interest was very low, beneath zero. But I thought the album was too good to not be published, so I just decided to make my own record label. And because there is a few projects I'm doing, there's a few bands I'm in, and I think for me is the best possibility to put out my music by myself, to promote it by myself. I have experience in promoting. I worked for a record company for a couple of years. I know a lot of people.
You are in the business for what now, 35 years?
Yeah, 30 years about. Yeah. So it's not so much about controlling everything. It's more about the musical freedom, the freedom of creativity, which I wouldn't want to be cut. And together with the label, I've tried to build a circle of people working together to become a strong unit. And I think it starts to be successful because there is a lot of people involved which are very long in the business, which are very experienced. For instance, Joachim Lüttke is one of the guys. Also now Björn Gosens, who did the cover for WOLFHEART album. And the good thing about it is that everybody who is involved is really creative and wants to do something. There is no necessity in pushing somebody or to ask somebody for more times for something. Everybody is creative, everybody wants to create, everybody wants to contribute.
And they're doing it from the heart.
And they're doing it from the heart, which is also the case for Walter, for instance, from Angry Nation, or from Alessandro. All these people, they are good-hearted and very professional, and that's, for me, this is the most important thing.
And now there are, I think, 4 releases on the label, and these are your own bands, bands you are in.
Yeah.
Is this the concept of the label, that you just promote bands where you are in?
Well, not necessarily. Of course, I'm now able to put out my own things, and I wouldn't say that this cannot change in the future, but for now I don't think I have enough financial power to support somebody outside of my circle, you know, because I wouldn't like to offer a rip-off deal to some young guys. This is not the way I plan, and this is not the way I like to work. So we'll continue to put out our own music and music from people related to me in some direction. But of course, I think about publishing music also from other people, but I think it will take 1 or 2 years more until I'm ready to do something for other people, which really represents a worth for them.
I think you're putting out so many music for yourself on your own, so you are concerned with yourself most of the time, because writing a 100-minute album or another 100-minute album is not like this. It takes time.
And the most important thing for me is, as long as there is this creative flow, I will try to use it, because it can also stop, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But for now it's working, and I try to put out as much music as I can, not for being invasive in a methodical way, but there's a lot of topics I want to think about, I want to talk about, I want to create music about. So as long as this will work, I will do that. So.
And it's not limited to any musical styles. That's
no, not at all. Well, I wouldn't put out folk music, of course. You know, the Volksmusik.
Austrian folk music.
Yeah. And okay, I wouldn't do techno stuff like that. So it will always be related to metal.
Yeah, of course. But it's not only death metal like your old projects were.
I wouldn't like to limit myself in that way.
Okay, so thanks for the little insight in the business, in your business thing. Thank you, Wolf, and I wish you lots of luck with WOLFHEART, the band, and WOLFHEART Records.
Thank you. It's WOLFBLOOD.
WOLFBLOOD, sorry.
Thank you.
It's WOLFBLOOD Records.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to do this interview and to give me the chance to present myself and the stuff I'm doing and the people around. Hopefully we'll do something together in the future.